Hello, this is Dr. Daniel and Dr. Jenny from Spinal Corrector Center in Amherst, New Hampshire. And Dr. Jenny, I've been wondering, how should I use my phone?
Your phone?
Throughout the day, yes.
Well, that's actually a really good question because people don't know how to use their phone. I can't tell you how many times I look over to the adjusting chairs and people are like this, right?
It's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some basic mechanics.
Okay.
So the biggest thing I can tell you is you want to minimize this like half-pound weight, which seems like no big deal, but that little bit of strain that's on in your hand, on your wrist, on your elbow, and affects your shoulder and your neck.
Mm-hmm.
You can do this, it's no big deal, but you do this for 4 hours. it can, you know what I mean? It can become, because if I said to you, do this, how long will it be before you start to get tired?
Not that long.
Right, so do this, how long will it be before you start to get tired?
Okay.
So the closer it is. So it's the tucking of the elbows. So like literally like elbows in. That's the biggest thing I tell people.
Okay.
So instead of here, keep the elbows in. Shoulders are relaxed, but elbows in. If you're sitting, you can put like a nice big fat pillow on your lap, and then you can just tuck your elbows on top of the pillow.
Okay.
But you want to bring the phone to your eyes. You don't want to bring the eyes or the head down to the phone. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
So just lifting it up. Super important. So the other thing that I personally discovered that makes a big difference is these little pop sockets. So people are like, well, that's kind of weird. It just pops out. But it's brilliant because really the only way to hold your phone is like this. Mm-hmm. And I found personally that I would get some strain in my wrist here and in my elbow here. And the thing is, you don't feel it at the time, right? You're like, you can do that all day long. And then later that night or the next morning, you're like, why does my elbow hurt? Why does my wrist hurt? So the cool thing about the pop socket is instead of here, then you can change it up. And then you can change it up. And then you can change it up.
Huh.
Right? So you're moving your hand in different ways. So say you do need to be on your phone for a solid 45 minutes. This allows you to decrease the stress of those little tiny little muscles that get fatigued.
Okay.
So that's really good. I don't know, what else? Let's see. So I think in general, the other problem with the phone, there's mechanics. It's also the EMF, so the electromagnetic frequency. People don't like to talk about it because they don't want to not have their phone on them.
It's true.
But minimally, don't put it in your shirt. That's it's just not good for your chest, especially women. Just don't do it. We'll see it in the back pocket or in the front pocket, and there's really compelling research to show you're more likely to have problems like pain or even cancers if you have it in the same place all the time. In that location, yeah. So maybe put it in this pocket, or maybe put it in your coat pocket, or maybe move it around. So don't always put it in the same place. And then at night, don't charge it within at least 3 feet of your head, ideally. So don't put it in bed. Absolutely don't put it in bed. I try to put it on the opposite side of the nightstand, so I can't even really reach it. So it's at least 3 feet away. Okay. Ideally, you would put it across the room.
Well, that's good if you're using your phone as an alarm, and then it goes off. It helps you get up out of bed to turn it off.
That's true.
Yeah. It makes snooze all the time.
So that's just a habit, right? That's just changing the habit, But that's some little things to think about because, it's those little habits over time that can create a big problem or not.
Sure.
Be well, everybody.